Hi Network Next Gen, I'm Logan Goldbach. Welcome to my house. Come on in. First up at the top of the stairs, we're here in the living room. This was a space that was part of a gut renovation of this floor and the floor above. Previously, the space was renovated in probably like the 90s, so everything was orange and brown and really dark, and the floor sloped and it smelled bad, and it was like really rough shape. So in doing this big renovation, what I was really searching for is light and bright. So we brought in these wide plank white oak floors. The rug is a vintage rug that's been re-dyed and is this kind of color that flows with the floor. One thing that I really wanted to do in this space from the start was do drapes really tall and vertical, because that's one of the features of the space that kind of came with it for free that I really wanted to highlight. And with that, I also wanted to play with the scale with this like really giant piece of art. I love like the biggest art possible you can fit on a wall. Like if I could make it a diptych, I would. And I love the sort of bold contrast this gives to the more kind of traditional rug. And I just love the mix of things in here. So much vintage from my favorite shops, Dial M, 3 Stars, you know, so many places around town. It's one of my biggest hobbies is going vintage shopping. So with the staircase, I wanted to provide some spaces that weren't bright white. So that space and the office are both painted Hail Navy, and it gives it a little bit more of a moody quality. And it also allowed me to put this gallery wall of all the things that I had collected over the years that felt too small for a lot of the big walls in this space. I've got a drum in there from when I studied abroad in Ghana, and it's just a really special piece to me, and I love seeing it every time I come in the house. So here in the dining room, it's literally at the center of the house. All rooms emanate from it. And I think that really speaks a lot to how we live. We're constantly entertaining. My partner is an awesome cook and I am an awesome eater. And so we have a lot of people over. This space, I think, works really well because we put the banquette here and it allowed the sort of center line of the room to shift over to create more space at the bottom of the stairs. One of the first things we purchased for the space is this Andrew Nair Astro Light. It's one of my favorite things. I think it's such an unexpected choice for this space. The tendency in these small Chicago spaces is to go smaller, and I wanted to go basically the length of this big table. During 2020, we can't avoid the subject. One of the things I did was I wanted to be surrounded by more color, so we painted the walls pink in here, and it just in the nighttime makes everyone look so like warm and glowy. The most recent purchase are these Geoponti style chairs that we got at Dial M for Modern. Oh, hi Em. That's my dog. That's one of my dogs, Em. She's an old lady and she runs the house. But these were a great addition, so much more comfortable than some Tolic style chairs we used to have. And I love the bit of black and cream as a contrast to this kind of peachy color on the walls. So as I said, my partner is an excellent cook and he really runs this place. I don't spend a lot of time on this side of the counter, but I really had a lot of opinions about what I wanted this to look like. So one of the first decisions we made was that I did not want a white kitchen. I have done so many in my career, and so I fell in love with this color. It's called Vintage Vogue by Benjamin Moore, and I really wanted to pair that with a dark countertop. This is a black Brazilian soapstone. It's the kind of countertop you would have had at the turn of the century or before. It's been in homes forever, and I love that, you know, around the edges it changes where you touch it and you live with it. And then the light here is the thin suspension by Juniper. I love the minimalism of it, but I also love that it's in brass as a contrast to these darker tones. It gives incredible light on the countertop. It's just like such a vibe and I love it. Welcome upstairs. When we bought this place, it was an unfinished attic. We added a staircase, we added a whole lot of skylights to bring in the light up here. I'm a very tall person, 6'4". We didn't dormer the space and I needed to make sure that the mirror didn't like cut me off at like the chest. So in slipping the mirrors right inside the skylights, hey Ollie, we were able to get that height and also just like bring the best possible light you could ever have into the bathroom. In the space, we went for a super bright white look with this cool terrazzo on the floor and this kind of greeny moss color, maybe recalling the kitchen downstairs. And it's just such a great way to wake up in the morning and have a south-facing natural light available to us. So in the main bedroom, again, we had to play with the angles of the ceiling to make the custom built-in dresser work, as well as the bed wall. Despite my height, the skylights trick works again, and the white oak floors really bounce the light in here. And I love green, if you haven't noticed from all the things in my house, but this green bed was one of the first things we put in. And I love the way it plays with some of these cobalt blue tones of these vintage French figure studies and this kind of indigo color. I've got this Harry Hilson earth painting that I got from Dial M for Modern that I really love. Throughout this space, particularly in the bedroom, love integrating sort of queer art and things that remind me of that. You know, these figures, the sort of nude running man at the other nightstand. You know, it's such a personal space for us, and then, you know, all the art really makes it feel like home. Hey Network Next Gen, thanks for coming. Hope to see you soon.